Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a very special, very requested video, which is how to conceive twins. If you've been following me, you already know I'm a nurse and also a twin mom, and ever since I gave birth to my twins, I honestly can't count how many times people both online and in person have asked me, Esther, how did it happen? Esther, tell us your secret now. Esther, what can I do to have twins? It's a lot. So I decided to create this very long, very real, and very detailed video. Not just from a medical perspective as a nurse, but also from my personal journey as a woman who has actually lived it. Now, let me take you back a little. When I got pregnant with my twins, I was actually still breastfeeding my daughter at the time. She was just about 1 year and 2 months old, and I was so sure I couldn't get pregnant that fast again, especially not with twins. I wasn't expecting that, but boom, boom, boom. Life had other plans. At first, I had no idea that it was a twin pregnancy. What I did know was that I felt terrible, really terrible. I was vomiting all the time, literally couldn't keep anything down, not even water. I had what we call severe hyperemesis gravidarum. I vomited during my first pregnancy, but this one was worst. Hyperemesis gravidarum is a pregnancy condition that causes extreme nausea and vomiting, and I was weak, constantly tired, and every attempt to eat or drink would just come back right up. We come back right back up. When they checked my urine, my ketone level was around 2+, which in simple terms means my body was so starved. It had started breaking down fat for fuel, and I couldn't even function properly at that point in time. And you know what? My husband was the first to say, "Are you sure it's not twins?" At first, I laughed it off, but no. But later on, deep down, I started wondering too. These symptoms were so intense. But here in the UK, you don't get your first scan until you're around 12 to 13 weeks pregnant, unless you want to go private. So I had to wait, sick, confused, exhausted. I had to stop breastfeeding. I had to stop breastfeeding my toddler. Nobody had to tell me that until the first scan. Anyway, the day came. The day of our first scan came. And I'll never forget the look on the sonographer's face. She turned to me and said, "Do you want to know?" And I said, "What?" I said, "You are carrying 2. I was like, I froze. Like, 2 what? She said, "Twins." I remember just staring at the screen and then bursting into tears, happy tears, overwhelmed tears. I looked at my husband. He just smiled and nodded like, he already knew, like, he was thinking like that already, so he's not really surprised. That moment was the beginning of a whole new chapter for us. I had no clue what was ahead, but I knew I was carrying 2 precious lives. So you see, when people ask me how to conceive twins, it's not just theory for me. I've been through the real deal, the shock, the symptoms, the challenges, and the miracle. In this video, I'm going to share everything I've learned, both from my personal journey and from my nursing background with you. We are going to break down 1, the science behind twins, natural ways people try to increase their chances, cultural and traditional beliefs, foods and supplements that may help, fertility treatments and how they work, and even the risk and realities of carrying twins. So, if you're trying to conceive twins, planning ahead, or even just curious, grab your drink, get cozy, and let's go deep into this twin talk. Trust me, you're going to love this one. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always watching, and supporting me. I truly appreciate you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share and leave a comment, please, as this really encourages me to keep creating helpful and heartfelt content like this, and your support means the world to me. Okay, let's get straight to it. First, let's start with the basics. What is the difference between identical and fraternal twins? This is one of the first things to understand when we talk about twin pregnancies. The identical twins, which is otherwise known as the monozygotic, these twins are the result of a single fertilized egg. The egg now splitted into two embryos. They are genetically identical, meaning they share the same DNA. This split happens randomly and there's no way to predict or influence it. They will also always be the same gender. Fun fact, identical twins don't run in families, but they can happen in any pregnancy, so they are more of a genetic fluke. The fraternal twins, which is the dizygotic, these twins come from two different eggs that are fertilized by two different sperm. Fraternal twins can either be the same gender or different genders, and they are not genetically identical. This is a type of twin pregnancy that tends to run in families. It's more likely to occur when multiple eggs release during ovulation, something that can be influenced by several factors. So why does the body release multiple eggs sometimes? It's all about the balance of hormones like FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, which I will get into more in a minute. But first, let's talk about family history and how it can affect your chances of having fraternal twins. If your mother is a twin, or if twins runs on your mother's side, your chances of having fraternal twins are higher. It's not something that comes from your dad. Twin pregnancies are passed down through the mother's genetics. A woman who has a tendency to release more than one egg during ovulation is more likely to have fraternal twins. This multiple ovulation runs in families and can be passed down through generations. So if your mom had fraternal twins, your chances go up, especially if she had a natural pregnancy rather than using fertility treatments. However, if identical twins runs in the family, it doesn't necessarily mean your chances are higher. Identical twins are a result of a random event where a single fertilized egg splits. There's no hereditary pattern involved. Here is an interesting factor that many people don't know. Your ethnicity and geographic region can influence your chances of having twins. Studies shows that African women, particularly in West Africa, have the highest rate of twin pregnancies. In fact, Igboora, a town in Nigeria, is known as the twin capital of the world. And for good reason, West African countries have significantly higher twin birth rates compared to other regions. Why? It could be linked to genetics and even diet, but researchers aren't entirely sure. On the other hand, Asian and Native American women tend to have the lowest rates of twins, with Caucasian women falling somewhere in the middle. So, if you are from West Africa or African heritage, you may have a natural advantage when it comes to having twins. Let's talk about age, especially for women over 35 years old. It's not that older women are more likely to have twins, but there's an increased chance for fraternal twins as women age. Why? It all comes down to hormones. As women age, the ovaries produce higher levels of FSH, the follicle stimulating hormone I mentioned earlier. This hormone stimulates the ovaries to produce eggs, and in some cases, it can trigger multiple egg releasing during ovulation, leading to the possibility of fraternal twins. Interestingly, women aged 35 and older have an increased chance of releasing more than one egg, which can significantly raise their odds of having twins. Here is something you might not have had. Women who have had multiple pregnancies are more likely to have twin pregnancies in later pregnancies. The reason, it's likely because the body becomes more fertile over time. After a woman has had several children, her body is more accustomed to releasing eggs and may release multiple eggs during ovulation, especially if she's older. In fact, some women who have had 3 or more children may find that their chances of having twins increases even if twins don't run in their family. That's why you see so many people that already have twin pregnancy and they said they have twins like 3 times. It's because their body is already used to it. Their body has gotten used to it. That's why they are able to have twins like 2-3 times. Yes, another part is your height. Your height and weight can impact your height and weight can impact your chances of having twins too. Interestingly, studies have shown that taller women and women with higher body mass indexes, the BMI, are more likely to have twins. This could be due to the insulin-like growth factor, IGF, which is a hormone linked to growth and development. It's thought that women with more body fat or those who are naturally taller may produce more hormones like IGF, which can increase the chances of releasing multiple eggs during ovulation. So being well nourished and maintaining a healthy weight could be factors that play into having twins as well. Don't ask me if I am tall, okay? Now we've covered the scientific side of twin pregnancies, the factors that may naturally influence your chances of having twins, but what about other ways to increase your chances? Next up, let's talk about the natural methods people swear by. Number 1, they will say eating twin boosting foods. Eating twin boosting foods. Let's start with what you are putting in your mouth, because diets can play a surprising role in boosting your chances of conceiving twins. One food that is often talked about, especially in West Africa, is yam. Yes, a good yam. Studies, including some research from the Yoruba town of Igbora in Nigeria, which I said is the twin capital of the world, suggests that yam contains phytoestrogens and natural progesterone, like substances that may stimulate the ovaries to release more than one egg. Other root vegetables like cassava are also believed to have similar effects. Dairy products have also been linked to higher twin rates. In fact, some studies show that women who consume a lot of milk and dairy are more likely to have twins. Why? Growth hormones in milk may influence ovarian activity. So, including foods like yam, cassava, dairy, leafy vegetables, and legumes could naturally support a body that is open to twin pregnancy. Number 2 is breastfeeding at conception. Now, let me take you back to my own story. Remember I told you I was still breastfeeding my daughter when I conceived my twins? Maybe that was it. Guess what? Breastfeeding at the time of conception is believed to increase the chances of hyperovulation. That is, releasing more than one egg. That's because prolactin, the hormone responsible for breast milk production, can sometimes cause irregular ovulation. But when it does happen, the ovaries may go into overdrive and release multiple eggs. So, if you are breastfeeding and you suddenly fall pregnant, it's not impossible to land twins. It's rare, but it happens. Let's go to number 3. High protein and calorie-rich diets. Women who eat high protein and calorie-rich diets tend to have higher fertility overall, and some research shows they may be more likely to conceive twins. Foods rich in zinc, folate, and amino acids helps the body function optimally during ovulation and early pregnancy. So think about incorporating more eggs, beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, fatty fish, whole grains, and avocados into your meal. These foods, they nourish the reproductive system and support egg quality and hormonal balance. Let's go to number 4. Here's a popular one that is also backed by some research, which is folic acid supplementation. Taking folic acid early, that is before conception, at least a month before conception. Some people will say start 3 months before trying to conceive. Yes, women who take folic acid before conception may have a higher chance of fraternal twins. While the evidence isn't conclusive, some studies have noted that folic acid might increase the rate of multiple ovulation. To be clear, folic acid is not a magic twin pill, but it does support healthy fetal development and is strongly recommended for anyone trying to conceive. If you had watched my previous video, which I will link in this video, I will link my video somewhere here so that you can watch it as well if you have interest. Things to consider before getting pregnant. So try to start taking 400 to 800 micrograms daily about 3 months before trying for pregnancy. Number 5 is gaining a bit of LD weight. This might sound surprising, but a slightly higher BMI, still within the LD range, which is 18 to 25, maybe around 23, 24, or 25, is associated as an increased chance of having fraternal twins. Now, this doesn't mean you should overeat or become on LD, but women with a strong, nourished body, especially those who are not underweight, may produce more estrogen and other fertility hormones. If you are trying for twins, focus on gaining muscle and LD fat by eating nutrient-rich foods. It's not about size, it's about nutritional strength. Another one is trying soon after stopping birth control. When you stop using hormonal birth control, especially the pill, your body can go into a bit of a hormonal rebound. In the first few cycles, your ovaries may be a bit confused and might release 2 eggs instead of 1. This is called hyperovulation. So trying to conceive immediately after coming off birth control could increase your chances of having twins. It's not guaranteed, but it's something worth considering if you are ready to start your twin journey. Let's go to number 7. Herbal and traditional remedies. Disclaimer, this is not me talking. This is what I learned about. In many cultures, including ours in Africa, there are a variety of herbs and traditional teas believed to increase fertility and even encourage twin births. Some people use what we call maca root. I don't really know much of them, but I just read about them. Donkwai, bitter leaf, fertility blends with red raspberry leaf or nettle. But here is my advice as a nurse. Please, if you want to use them with caution. Not all herbs are safe for everyone, and some can even interact with medication or cause hormonal imbalances. If you want to explore natural herbs, make sure you are getting them from trusted sources, and ideally speak with a health practitioner before starting. All right, my people, that was a full breakdown of the natural methods people try when they want twins. Some are backed by science, some are traditional, but they all reflect the deep desire many of us have to experience the joy of double blessings. So, we are going to the next part. Here, we'll be diving into the role of fertility treatments like IVF, IUI, and fertility medications, and how they significantly increase twin rates. We'll also talk about cost, risk, and success rates. So, we're talking about fertility treatments that can lead to twins. Ready? Number 1 is fertility drugs that stimulate ovulation. One of the most common ways twins are conceived medically is through fertility drugs. This medication stimulates your ovaries to produce more than 1 egg during your cycle. Some of the most popular ones include Clomid, which is clomiphene citrate. This is one of the first-line treatments for women who are not ovulating regularly. It works by increasing FSH, which is follicle-stimulating hormone, encouraging the ovaries to release 1 or more eggs. Another one is letrozole, which is Femara. Originally, it's a breast cancer drug, but also used off-label to induce ovulation. Another one is gonadotropins. These ones are injectable FSH or LH. These are stronger medications given by injection, often used in more advanced fertility treatment cycles. These medications, there is a higher risk of multiple pregnancies, not just twins, but sometimes triplets or more. So it's important that they are taken under medical supervision with regular ultrasound scans to monitor how many follicles, that is egg sacs, are developing. These drugs works by making your ovaries superactive. So if 2 or more mature eggs are released and fertilized, you get twins. Next is IUI, intrauterine insemination. This treatment involves inserting washed and concentrated sperm directly into the uterus during your ovulation window. IUI alone does not directly cause twins, but when it's combined with fertility drugs, especially Clomid or gonadotropins, the chances of multiple eggs being fertilized go up significantly. That's when the twin risk increases. So IUI combined with ovulation stimulating medications is a well-known route for conceiving fraternal twins. If I have been talking about everything and I haven't mentioned this, then we haven't started yet. This one is probably the most talked about, which is IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. IVF is when eggs are collected from the ovaries and fertilized with sperm in a lab, then one or more embryos are transferred back into the uterus. Now, here is the twin link. To improve success rates, some fertility clinics transfer more than one embryo during IVF. If both embryos implant and grow, you end up with twins, usually fraternal twins, unless the embryo splits naturally, which would result in identical twins. Depending on the number of embryos transferred, IVF can lead to twins, triplets, or even more if not carefully managed. However, multiple births through IVF are becoming less common in countries like the UK due to regulations that recommend single embryo transfers to reduce risks. Let's talk money, because fertility treatments don't come cheap. In the UK, one cycle of IVF can cost between £4,000 to £8,000 depending on the clinic and medication used. In Nigeria, IVF can cost anywhere from 1.5 million naira to 3 million naira per cycle, sometimes more. Some private hospitals even charge higher. There are more affordable options abroad in countries like India, Turkey, and some parts of Eastern Europe, where IVF is cheaper and sometimes includes twin enhancing techniques. But you have to do your research, because not all clinics follow best practices. Before you go jumping into fertility treatment just to have twins, let's pause and talk about risks. Twin pregnancies are considered high-risk pregnancy, especially when they happen through artificial stimulation. Some of the risks include premature birth, that is giving birth before 37 weeks. Another one is low birth weight, gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, this is a dangerous high blood pressure condition, increased chance of C-section, and postpartum complications as well. Also, multiple births can take a serious toll on the mother's physical and emotional health, especially if the body wasn't fully prepared. That's why fertility treatment should always be done under close medical supervision with support from your family and healthcare team. Another thing to think about is the emotional and ethical side. Some women become obsessed with conceiving twins and may feel deep disappointment if it doesn't happen. I just want to say this: whether you have one baby, two, or none yet, your journey is valid. Twins are a blessing, yes, but so is every child. Be gentle with yourself and seek support if you are going through fertility challenges. So now you've seen how science plays a huge role in increasing the chances of twins, especially for those going through fertility treatments. All right, let's take a breather from all the science and step into the world of tradition, culture, and belief. Because if you grew up in Africa or even just around Africans, you've probably heard one or two things about how people believe twins are conceived. And let me tell you, some of these beliefs are deeply rooted in culture. In case you didn't know, there's a small town in Oyo State called Igbora, known as the twin capital of the world. They believe that their local diet, mainly heavy on yam, okra leaves, amala, and ilasa soup, contributes to the unusually high number of twin births. Even though researchers point to genetics and diet, the locals still believe there is a mystical connection between their culture and twin blessings. Some women even travel there to eat the food, hoping to increase their chances. Another one is spiritual belief, praying to twin deities or ancestral spirits. In traditional Yoruba culture, twins are considered sacred, and there are even spiritual practices surrounding them. Some women visit traditional priests or spiritual leaders to offer prayers to twin deities or ancestors believed to control fertility. In some parts of West Africa, twin figurines called Ibeji are kept and worshipped for fertility and protection. So yes, spiritual rituals, ancestral prayers, and prophetic declarations are still part of the twin conception journey for many. Another popular myth, conceiving under a full moon. Some cultures believe that when the moon is at its brightest, women are more fertile and more likely to conceive twins or boys. They even say the position of the moon and stars can influence what kind of child you conceive. Now, science hasn't exactly backed this up, but people still try to time their conception around the lunar calendar. Okay, you probably had this one too. Drink snail water or bitter leaf juice and twins will land in your womb. Some people believe that snails, being hermaphrodites, carry double reproductive energy. So if you drink the water or eat plenty of them, you attract twins. Others swear by mixing herbal roots, boiling bitter leaves and drinking them before ovulation. Now, listen, as a nurse, I always advise caution with these things. Some of these herbs are too strong and can harm the liver, kidneys, or even the womb. If you want to try anything herbal, please talk to a medical doctor before experimenting. And who hasn't had this? Twins run in our family. Your great grandmother had them, so you must too. Yes, there's truth to it. Fraternal twins often run in families, especially through the mother side, because of a genetic tendency to hyperovulate. But sometimes aunties will say things like this: if you eat the leftover of a twin's food, you will carry twins. If a twin prays for you, it will happen. Or even sleeping in the bed of someone who gave birth to twins can trigger it. We may laugh, but these beliefs are part of our heritage and they make the twin journey feel even more magical. Let's not forget, in churches, mosques, and prayer gatherings, prophetic declarations about twins are very common. I've seen women testify that a pastor or imam prayed over them, declared twins, and it happened. So, now whether it's fate, coincidence, or divine orchestration, what matters most is hope. And for many people, hope and belief are stronger than anything else. So, as you can see, the twin story is not just medical, it's spiritual, cultural, emotional, and even mystical. Whether you believe in snail water, yams, moonlight, or IVF, everyone's journey is different. So, we've talked about a lot, from personal experience to science, fertility treatment, diet, and cultural beliefs. But before we end this video, let's focus on preparation. That is, preparing your body, your mindset, and your heart. Whether you are trying for twins or just hoping for a healthy baby, it all starts with taking care of your body. Here are some key steps to prepare your body. Number 1 is take folic acid at least 3 months before trying to conceive. Some studies suggest it may slightly increase twin chances, but more importantly, it prevents birth defects. Secondly, balance your hormones naturally through your food, sleep, and reducing stress. Thirdly, maintain a healthy weight. Being underweight or severely overweight can reduce fertility. Number 4, exercise moderately, especially to build stamina for pregnancy. Twin pregnancies put more strain on the body, so it's better to be strong and prepared. Also, track your ovulation, especially if you are aiming for a timed intercourse. Apps, ovulation strips, or temperature tracking can help. Know your cycle inside out. One of the biggest tips I can give any woman trying to conceive is to get to know your cycle. Get to know your cycle like the back of your hand. Ovulation is your most fertile window, and if you're hoping for twins, timing becomes even more important. Track for a few months and see how your cycle behaves, especially if it is irregular. You can even work with a fertility coach or a gynecologist to break it down better. Also, work with a healthcare professional. I can't overemphasize this. Work with a healthcare professional. If you have been trying to conceive for over a year or 6 months, if you are over 35 years, it's time to speak with a healthcare professional. They can help rule out any underlying issues like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, low egg reserve, blocked fallopian tubes, low sperm count. Yes, let's not forget the men in this journey as well. Don't self-medicate with fertility pills. Please, don't self-medicate with fertility pills or hormonal boosters from the market. Get proper guidance. Get proper guidance. Please. Also, accept that twins are not guaranteed. I want to be very honest here. Doing everything right, doing every of those things I've mentioned earlier, doesn't guarantee twins. There are women who tick all the boxes: age, diet, family history, and still they don't conceive twins. And that's okay. Every child is a miracle. Whether it's one baby or two, the goal is a healthy, joyful journey. So if you are watching this and trying to conceive, I want to say this: you are not alone. Your journey is valid. Whether it's fast or slow, twins or singleton, it's beautiful. Absolutely, it's beautiful. As a twin mom, I didn't do anything special to make it happen. I was still breastfeeding, exhausted, and not even eating properly because I had severe hyperemesis gravidarum. My husband was the one who even suspected I might be carrying twins because I was not even thinking about it. I was not even expecting it. It was confirmed at my 13-week scan, and I was shocked in a good way. So yes, there's a lot you can try, but sometimes twins are just a divine surprise. What matters most is that your body and mind are ready. Pray, stay healthy, talk to your doctor, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment if you are trying for twins or if you're a twin mom like me. I'd love to hear your story. And remember, whether you are raising one child or two, you're doing amazing. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing amazing. And I'll see you in my next video.